Laura Lopez Puccio. I'm an attorney with the Legal Service Fund, which is a partnership with the Culinary and Bartenders Unions at Legal Aid Center of Southern Nevada. I'm gonna give this presentation today to do a little update on the immigration situation of the first 100 days of President Trump. I will go through the presentation, and if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them at the end. If you can please hold on to your questions until the end so that we are more organized.
And then just a reminder, because we're doing live translation, so we'll just have to speak a little slower and then do pauses between sentences. Thank you.
Sure. The Legal Service Fund program was created to provide members of the unions with legal information, consultations, and sometimes even full representation. These services are free for all the members, so please feel free to give us a call and we will try to meet with you and accommodate all your legal needs. The services are free of charge, so it's a great benefit for the union members. If you can please go to the next slide. So I wanted to start today with the ICE actions that we have seen here in Las Vegas. At the beginning, there was no activity from them, but lately there has been some. There has been federal immigration agents detaining people throughout the state. I mean, the city of Las Vegas and also the state. Here specifically, we have seen activities on major streets like Bonanza, Sahara, and common places like Freedom Park and the indoor sweep meet on Eastern and Owens. I know these are scary times for everyone, so please be careful, be mindful, and I will discuss how you can encounter these agents if you are ever in that position. I will talk about it at the end of the presentation, the Know Your Rights. I will go through those. Next slide, please. When all this started 100 days ago, when Trump became the president, Las Vegas Metro and the Henderson Police Departments, they both said that they were only going to alert ICE if a foreign-born individual is arrested and charged with a violent felony, domestic violence, and/or driving under the influence. This has changed. So on January 29th of this year, the president enacted the law called the Laken-Riley Act. This is a new federal law that requires mandatory detention if you were charged with, arrested for, convicted of, or admits committing any theft crimes, including petty larceny, shoplifting, and assault of a law enforcement officer. What does this mean? The mandatory detention is that if you are charged with, arrested, or convicted, or you admit to committing one of these crimes, you will be put in jail. And then if you have an open immigration case, your immigration judge cannot redetermine the conditions of custody. So by federal law, you will be put in jail, and there's not a lot of due process in these situations. So you have to be mindful that this is happening today. Please, next slide. So since Trump started his presidency on January, we've gone through 100 tumultuous days. From day one, he started going against immigrants. He declared a state of emergency and said that there was an invasion of migrants based on a high number of asylum seekers arriving at the border. This is very concerning to all the immigration communities because we don't know how he is going to react or what he's going to do next. So I'm going to go through all the, or at least most of the executive orders or actions that he has taken from the beginning. The termination of humanitarian parole. This applies to Cuba, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. So he revoked lawful status and work authorizations of thousands of beneficiaries that were in this country legally and working with employment authorization cards. Thankfully, on April 14, a judge issued an order temporarily blocking those terminations. This means that the judge prevented the termination from going into effect. Right now, people that have humanitarian parole can continue working legally. We're not going to know what's going to happen with this program until the end of the trial. So right now, for all the workers that are on humanitarian parole, you are legally allowed to work. You are fine, you're safe, and we'll know more in the future. With many of Trump's actions, we'll know more in the future. He usually acts upon something, and then there's a lawsuit challenging the legality of that action that he's taken. So that is what's happening with most of the orders that he took. So with this, there's a trial going on. Thankfully, the judge seems to side with immigrants. So hopefully we'll have good news in the future regarding humanitarian parole. Jumping into TPS. TPS is a legal status that allows people from certain countries to live and work in the US for a limited time. In general, the limited time is extended over and over. So there's people with TPS that have been here in the country for more than 20 years or more. The government tried to end the designation of TPS for Venezuela at the beginning of their term, and this would affect 300,000 individuals. Thankfully, a judge in San Francisco ordered the department to continue TPS for Venezuelans. So right now, that is in effect. For other countries, we don't know what's going to happen. There's a few that need to be continued in the next few months, but we will know more in the future. Right now, we don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the countries that have TPS. From the beginning of Trump's term, there has been robust screening and vetting. He paused the review of green card applications for some refugees and asylees for additional screening. What does this additional screening? We don't know, because people that are refugees and asylees have been extendedly, they have been vetted immensely. So we are not sure what's going to happen with those cases. Right now, those applications are paused, not forever. So if you are in that situation, they will continue processing those types of applications, but slower. So we will get there, or they will get there. That's what they said. There is also a pause on the processing of new and pending applications impacting programs like U4U, Uniting for Ukraine, the CHNB, which is the parole that I just addressed, and the family reunification parole programs. The government said that they want to address fraud concerns, so they are not going to approve any petitions that are pending right now. But as I said, this is not forever. They have to resume processing them at some point. So what could happen is that it will delay the process if you are in that situation, but hang on, they will get to you. It's not terminated, it's not ended. They just froze it for some time. Regarding immigration court, what changed, and this is very important, is that prosecutorial discretion has been rescinded. What does this mean? So this means that if you have a case in court, if you have any um, deportation order or administratively closed order, in the past, we were able to go and talk to the government's attorney and decide to put the case back in the docket. That means have a date to go to court and ask the government attorney to side with us and kind of terminate the case for you. That was called prosecutorial discretion. It's when the government says, I'm not gonna pursue the case against this person, we can terminate it. And this allows the person to apply for any benefit, for any other benefit. For example, if they have a family petition, they can apply for that benefit with the Department of Homeland Security. Right now, Trump has announced that there's no more prosecutorial discretion. So when the case comes into the docket, we have to go to court, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's very complicated because we cannot terminate cases anymore if we need to terminate them. Who is at risk? Everyone who has pending cases in court or even administratively closed decisions. If you have a deportation order that has been administratively closed, this is very technical, but to apply for any other benefit with the Department of Homeland Security, you need that administratively closed case to be terminated. It's a legal determination, and it means terminated, it means that the case is done. And administratively closed, it means that the case is not closed, but they are not pursuing your deportation right now. So unfortunately, we don't have that resource anymore to go ask the government attorney to work with us to terminate a certain case. Next slide, please. The alien registration requirement. I know this has been everywhere, and it's very important that you know this information to make a decision as to what you want or need to do regarding this registration requirement. As of April 11th of this year, all aliens that are 14 years of age or older who are not registered and fingerprinted and who remain in the US for 30 days or longer must apply for registration and fingerprinted. I need to make sure that you understand that registering does not give you any immigration status, does not create any immigration status for you. What this is a new requirement that the government and the Department of Homeland Security imposed on immigrants who are not registered. probably because they want to go after those immigrants. It's a very scary requirement that they are giving us. And that's why I strongly encourage you, if you are in this situation, to discuss it with an attorney, because you need to make sure that you understand what could happen. I'm gonna explain who has to register and who doesn't have to register. Please, the next slide. Who is already registered? If you have filed certain applications with the Department of Homeland Security, you are already registered. Those applications include, for example, if you have applied for a green card. If you have a green card, you don't need to register. You are already registered. You're fine. The immigrants who have been paroled into the country, those are already registered. So no need to register. Any person who entered the country and received an I-94 card. The I-94 card is something that is issued when you enter the country at the airport. In the past, it was a white card. Now they don't give you the card physically anymore, but it's online. So if you have recently traveled inside of the US, from outside to the US, you can look online. There's an I-94 page, and you can check for your I-94 there. So if you have it, again, no need to register because you are already registered. Any alien present in the United States who were issued immigrant or non-immigrant visas have been registered already. If you are a tourist, if you are a student, if you have a work visa, all of those are already registered. No need to do anything. If you are in removal proceedings, that means that you are also already registered. No need to register. If you have been issued an employment authorization card, so most of you have employment authorization cards, that means that you have been registered already. No need to do anything. If you have applied for a green card and you haven't gotten it yet, but you're waiting for it, and you have been fingerprinted, no need to register. And if you have a border crossing cards, also no need to register. You're already registered. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to discuss who is not registered. So anyone who has not been issued any of the documents that I discussed before, probably you are not registered. If you enter the country without inspection, that means if you cross the border, they didn't catch you, you're here, you've been here forever, but you never have had any encounter with any immigration official, then you are not registered. Canadian visitors who enter the US at any port of entry and were not issued evidence of registration should also register if they stay in the country for more than 30 days, sorry. If you submitted an application for deferred action, that would be DACA or temporary protected status, technically you're not registered. However, you do have employment authorization that comes with it, so you are registered. Next slide, please. This is very important, and I'm going to say it again. If you enter the US without inspection and do not have legal status, you are required to register. However, and please be sure that you understand this, registering does not grant any legal status and may result in you being put in removal proceedings. Personally, I think that this new requirement that the government has imposed is a self-deportation list, because if you have a certain criminal record and you registered, they will come for you. So you need to be very, very mindful and very careful with what you decide to do. Failure to register, on the other hand, may result in civil and criminal penalties. So there has been attorneys that have received fines for their clients who have been here illegally and they haven't registered. Again, please consult with an attorney regarding registration, because it's a very delicate issue and I wouldn't want you to be in a delicate situation if you do register or if you don't. You can always give us a call here at the Legal Service Fund and we'll make a consultation with you and we'll discuss the pros and cons. But please, before you make any decision, consult with an attorney, with us or with whoever you want. Okay. Next slide, please. As I said at the beginning, I wanted to touch a little bit on encounters with ICE and know your rights. If you are ever in a situation that you have an encounter with an ICE agent, or if they stop you, please know that you have the right to remain silent. You do not have to give them any information. You do not have to answer any questions regarding your immigration status or where you were born or how you entered the United States. You have the right to stay silent. Please know that. But at the same time, do not physically resist them, because that could escalate and I don't want you to have any issues. Don't run away, but you just stay there and not answer the questions. If you have valid immigration documents, show them to the ICE officers. If they come to your home, you have the right to not open the door. You can stay inside. Don't open the door. Don't open the door, because if you do, that in a way gives them some permission to act. So you have the right to leave the door shut. You have the right to refuse any official wishing to enter without a warrant. If they do have a warrant, just check if it has the correct address and if it has the correct name. Because if it doesn't, you do not need to open the door. Make sure that they slide the warrant inside, through the door. You can read it, and if it is your information, then it's uh, more of a difficult situation, because then you have to open. But if it doesn't have your name or your address, do not open the door. If ICE takes you into custody, ask to speak to an attorney. You always have the right to speak to an attorney. Do not sign any documents, even if they pressure you to sign. You have the right to not sign anything that you don't understand. Or if you're not with an attorney, just wait until the attorney arrives and then discuss with the attorney if you have to sign or not. You always have the right to request to see an immigration judge and also ask for bail in order to be released. You also have the right to contact your country's consulate for help. They might help you. And if you have minor children, let the officers know that you're a parent or a primary caregiver, and they might exercise discretion and let you go. This is not a for certain, but you can try that. Next slide, please. So if you don't have a prior deportation order, any expedited removal, or you're not subject to mandatory detention, you have the right to request a hearing with a judge. And why this is so important? Because that will give you due process. The judge will hear you and respect your rights. If you don't request that, if you don't request going before a judge, ICE, they don't usually respect your due process and they do whatever they want. So I strongly encourage you to ask to see a judge. Also, because if you see a judge, you may be released under bond. Bond is, money that you pay to the court and then they let you go free until the trial continues. So if there is no bond set, you can always request a bond hearing and the immigration judge will review that and probably give you the hearing. Okay, next slide, please. I'm getting to the end of my presentation, and I strongly encourage you to contact us for more information for anything that you might need. I will try to answer questions. If there are questions now, you can start posting them on the chat. But if it's very specific, I don't want to answer specific questions about particular situations. Please give us a call. Our direct line at the Legal Service Fund is 702-386-1550. As I said before, the Legal Service Fund is a program that works with culinary and bartenders unions to give you, the members, free legal representation. So give us a call. We'll have a consultation with you and we'll see specific cases on a case-by-case basis.